Hi, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders. Your brother Rabbi now coming out with another lesson, Lord's will is edifying. Okay. I don't really got nothing planned. Oh shit, I'm just gonna jump into it. See what's popping, man. As a matter of fact, I was reading something today. A lot of shit going on. I got a crazy ass article, man. But it ain't nothing crazy, man. You see enough after, watching these articles, man. It's like you see the same shit over and over, man. But it was talking about Tulsa, Oklahoma. Let's go to that, man. It says Tulsa, Oklahoma. Matter of fact, let me go to the post. It says Tulsa's new mayor confronts painful past, the 1921 race massacre. Okay. If you don't know about what happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma, man, that's when you so-called Negroes had some prosperity here in this country, man. What did Esau do? He massacred you because of it, man. He massacred you because you actually were getting it by your bootstraps. You know how he says that today? Get it by your bootstraps. Well, back then you were getting it by your bootstraps. And what did he do? He came and destroyed you, man. Destroyed the city. And now here it is, the irony of it all. Here comes a black mayor. I believe he's first in Tulsa, Oklahoma's history when I was reading about it. But let's find out. Let's double check that. Let's double check that. I have this other article talking about AI. So many articles, man. So much going on in the world, man. And it's good to be aware of these things, man. It's good to know what's going on in this world, because this place, we're towards the end. We're getting closer and closer to the end. The Lord's constantly working. He got Elon Musk building XAI Colossus all the way in Memphis, polluting the poor people over there in Memphis. Gotta put prayers up for the brothers over there doing work, man. That's a lot of demons over there. Okay? Matter of fact, let's start there. Let's start there, man. This is who we're warned against. Let's start there, as a matter of fact. Slakia. Principalities. This fucking map, I'm telling you, man. You can never grab it. I believe it's Ephesians, the 6th chapter. Let's just go there. Let's just go there. How you doing today, miss? You have a wonderful day, all right? Ephesians. Let's go to the book of Ephesians. Okay. Looks like the kiddies are getting out of school. Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Okay, carnally, we look like we're fighting against flesh and blood, because we're in the flesh, but we're not, man. This is a spiritual thing, man. Okay, that's why why you think Musk chose Memphis to go do that? Why is there a place called Memphis here in Babylon? Okay, because this is why we call this modern day Egypt, man. He's going there to build some AI protocol or idol, so you can serve him. They building up a digital infrastructure so you can bow down and worship him, which is the so-called white man. But the Lord is setting up men who are not going to bow down to this devil, man. Why would we bow down to our enemy? This is why you got to know who your enemy is, man. Or you're going to be like everyone else in the world. You think everybody is your friend, and it's not true. It's not true. It's the book of 1 Kings, chapter 19. 1 Kings chapter 19 and you know what? I'm gonna start up a little. 1 Kings chapter 19 and 13. It was so when Elijah heard it that he wrapped his face in his mantle and went out and stood in the entering of the cave. And behold, there came a voice unto him and said, What doest thou here, Elijah? And he said, I have been very jealous for the Lord Yahweh, power of hosts, because the children of Israel have forsaken thy covenant, thrown down thine altars, and slain thy prophets with the sword. And I, even I only, am left, and they seek my life to take it away. So Elijah, he was running away, man. He thought he was the only one left serving the Lord. Okay? This is during the prophets of Baal. People were prophesying, worshiping idols similar to today. Okay? But then he did a great sacrifice and proved that their God was false. Okay? And we're going to show you that your God is false the more these judgments start going out. As you can see, you look over there in Palestine, they got a God. As a matter of fact, it's the first or second day of the Hajj, where people make a deport to go bow down, worship the cobblestone. Well, that's according to Deuteronomy 28, verse 64. The Lord said he's going to send you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. He's going to scatter you because of your lack of following his laws. And that's why you're over here in America thinking you're American and you're not. Okay? You're a child of God. You're an Israelite. But you don't know that because you transgress the laws, and that's why he got his prophets on the highways and hedges now. Okay? Back to 1 Kings 19 and 15. And the Lord Yahweh said unto him, Go, return to thy way, to the wilderness of Damascus, and when thou comest, anoint Hazael to be king over Syria. And Jehu the son of Nimshi shalt thou anoint to be king over Israel. And Elisha the son of Shaphat, Abel Mahola shalt thou anoint to be prophet in thy room. And it shall come to pass that him that escapeth the sword of Hazael shall Jehu slay, and him that escapeth from the sword of Jehu shall Elisha slay. Yet I have left me 7,000 in Israel, all the knees which have not bowed unto Baal, and every mouth which have not kissed him. So he departed and found Elisha the son of Shaphat, who was plowing with 12 yoke of oxen before him, and he with the 12th. And Elijah passed by him and cast his mantle upon him. So there was more than just him. Okay, he runs into Elisha. The Lord says, listen, I'm going to have you go and anoint this person and that person. He said, I got 7,000 men that have not bowed the knee to Baal or kissed him or worshiped him. So you're not alone. Okay? You're not alone, man. Matter of fact, I forgot what the point I was trying to get with this. So, going back to them idols, man. The Lord got a remnant of men who ain't gonna serve this damn idol. They're gonna get the victory, man. That he's anointed. Okay? He's anointed them. They got this word. They have the understanding. They're going to be searching Jerusalem with candles to punish the men that are settled on their leaves. So this is what we're doing, man. We're serving the Lord. And as his word goes out, people are being marked for salvation or death. If you got that Tawah, according to Ezekiel, the 9th chapter, you're going to be what's the word I'm looking for? You're going to be marked for exemption. Okay, so the angels are going to pass over you. But the point I was trying to, because I started in Ephesians, the 6th chapter, that there's different principalities in different towns. Brothers have to deal with different things, man. You know, some of us might have to deal with the air pollution that's going on in Memphis. You know, they might have to deal with these things. They might have to deal with gang violence. Memphis got the highest gang violence right now. And those men that are over there, they're still pushing out the word. So these are these different demons that brothers got to deal with. Now over here in Boston, there's probably a much more liberal demons over here. They got a different type of demons over here. You know, there's a huge trans is everywhere now. You know, it might seem that people think they're smarter here in Boston for some reason. People think they're more politically aware. They're more. I can't even explain what Boston is, man. It's not as violent as these other cities, but you still got to deal with principalities, some form of it. Okay? Let's believe that. Don't think that you're not dealing with that. Okay, maybe it's more silent, but you still dealing with it, man. But the Lord still set up men that are gonna go out, teach this word, and they're not gonna care. Okay, not everyone's teaching this word. So the fact that this word's going out is a blessing within itself, because the Lord's showing mercy to his people, man. Okay. Ephesians 6:13, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand, stand therefore having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness. Okay, so you want to be having on your gear, your armor, preparing yourself for a battle that's happened, that's taking place here in these different, in Babylon. All over Babylon, man. All over Babylon, you got to deal with this shit, man. You're dealing with the curses in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. But as a matter of fact, since I brought it up, let me just grab it. It's called Hajj. I was looking this up yesterday. Hajj is an annual Islamic pilgrimage to Mecca, Saudi Arabia, the holiest city for Muslims. Hajj is a mandatory religious duty for capable Muslims that must be carried out at least once in their lifetime. So at least once in your lifetime, you're supposed to go over to Saudi Arabia, walk around a cobblestone. Actually, there's 7 days. It's a 7-day thing. When I was looking it up, and there's this. They actually believe that Isaac was sacrificed. Ishmael was the chosen one that was sacrificed in the Quran. So they're completely against the Holy Bible, man. Okay. They say Islam is a submission to God, and they say Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, he's Islamic because he was submission to God. But let me tell you something, man. Our Lord ain't Jesus, man. Jesus is a false name, and it's written all through your Quran. So what does that tell you about what you believe in? Okay? And who's to say Ishmael was a so-called black man too? Okay? Abraham was a so-called black man too. Are you telling your people that? No. Get the hell out of here, man. So you false. All right? You're false, man. And that's what the devil does. He sets up all these different doctrines of devils to try to get the children of Israel ultimately for us to follow that bullshit. But now that we had to understand and we see what's going on in the world, Salak, we're coming up out of that mess, man. Going back to Elon Musk setting up XAI Colossus all the way in Memphis, showing you that this is modern day Egypt. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 11 and verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city. The great city is talking about America. Okay, this is that great city. You can read Revelation 17, 18, get the proper breakdown, and then you'll understand who the whore is. Okay? The whore is talking about America sitting on the beast, which is NATO and the EU. And you can clearly see that. Okay? And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of great city, which is spiritually called Sodom in Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. So he was crucified in Jerusalem, but Revelation, John the Revelator is telling us that he was crucified in Sodom in Egypt. So when you read that face value, there's a contradiction there. So how can we come to the truth? Well, there's some things we got to know. We got to know that it was written in Greek. So we got to go into the Greek. Then you go into the Greek where that word crucified goes in the staru, and it means to destroy the power utterly. And that's what they did with the Lord. They destroyed the power utterly. You got a bunch of churches. You got a bunch of people who believe in the church, but the laws of God are not being implemented down here on the earth. What does that tell you? That tell you that they're lying. Those are lies. So they call this place Sodom and Egypt. Sodom, because you can see this place, there's a lot of sodomites walking around here. And it's Egypt. Egypt is a Greek word for talking about the house of bondage. Okay? So now that we know that, let's keep it moving, man. So when you see these things, or why he's setting up shit, why Elon Musk is setting up these things in certain parts of the country, it's because it has some type of, he's wicked, man. He's the devil. So why would he? That's exactly why he would go over there and do the things that he's doing to Memphis. to be exact. All right? And if you trust this devil, then you're probably going to do whatever he tells you to do in the near future, which is to take his MOTB. That's what he wants to do. He didn't have to sign any paperwork. All these people are protesting. Typically, when you go do some major construction like that, you need all types of licenses. But Musk didn't have to do that, okay? So it goes to show you it's beyond having money, man. You gotta be a complete demon to have access to do something like that, man. That's a high level demon if he has access to do that. That means the elites of the elites allowed this dude. There's so many words you could call him, man. He looks like a damn fool, man. He really does. Okay, to go into Memphis and do whatever the hell he wants. But he don't know that there's a power in Israel, and he's gonna have to pay for everything he's doing down here on the earth. Okay? This is a precept in Isaiah, the 3rd chapter, I believe. Isaiah 3:9. The show of their countenance doth witness against them, and they declare their sin in Sodom, they hide it not. Woe unto their soul, for they have rewarded evil unto themselves. And you can see that they hide it not. They declare their sin in Sodom and they hide it not. You can see that that's prevalent in Babylon. Okay? It's very prevalent. As a matter of fact, it's June. If you don't believe me, you're going to start seeing it more and more and more. They're going to start showing you who they are. Okay? Very soon. This is the month, Pride Month. We know pride cometh before destruction. So we're gonna see them fall. Why do you think pride is here in Babylon? Because this is that place, man. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20. Exodus chapter 20. In verse number 2, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Okay, so who was in bondage in Egypt, man? The Israelites were in bondage in Egypt, okay, which are so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And he saved you out of that. And he's going to save his elect out of this captivity again. Okay. And what were they doing in Egypt? They were being slaves in Egypt, okay? They were being slaves in Egypt. Revelation chapter 11. How y'all doing today? I'm doing good. Revelation 11 and verse 18. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come in the time of the dead, that they should be judged. Who's the dead, sir? How you doing today? Well, the dead are the Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who don't know who you are. You're the dead. You called the walking dead. Okay? And you're going to remain in the congregation of the dead because you don't have no understanding. Okay? And then the Lord's going to destroy you. All right? Jake walking by like he ain't got no damn brain in his fucking forehead. Don't worry. The Lord going to put a chip in that forehead because he said both rich and poor. So the Lord ain't letting this devil discriminate against you. He might even start with the poor too. He's going to use the rich, your favorite celebrities, to make you think that it's cool to get the RFID microchip. And then you're going to get it. Okay? But the dead is talking about you heathen. And it's talking about 2/3 of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that are out there from all walks of life. It don't matter what your skin color is. You could be dead too. Let me grab this over there in Proverbs. There's no discrimination on wisdom, man. You read Wisdom of Solomon, the 7th chapter, it tells you that it don't dwell with everything, man. You can't have, I keep forgetting that precept. You can't have a malicious soul. Let me see if I can grab that. Yeah, so when you look at, I know I'm all over the place. Wisdom of Solomon. It's the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1. Let's go. I'll start at the top. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1 and verse 1. Love righteousness, ye that be judges of the earth. Think of the Lord with a good heart, and in simplicity of heart seek him. For he will be found of them that tempt him not, and showeth himself unto such as do not distrust him. So you got to trust in the Lord, man. For forward thoughts separate from God, and his power when it is tried reproveth the unwise. Okay? For into a malicious soul wisdom shall not enter, nor dwell in a body that is subject unto sin. So if you malicious, wisdom ain't going to deal with you. That's why a majority of y'all are foolish, okay? That's why a majority of you are dumb, okay? And so wisdom's not going to be dwelling within a malicious soul. You're not going to have this wisdom. That's why you want to purify yourselves by keeping these laws. You're going to need to be washed and cleansed by the word, okay? And you got to be keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, trusting in Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah. How you doing, young man? All right, well, you have a blessed day anyway. See, our young men, they don't like to listen. But he needs to listen. Because school ain't going to teach you nothing about the Lord. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 11 and verse 18. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come in the time of the dead, that they should be judged. So look at that. You're going to be judged if you're dead, man. That's why I wanted to go, as a matter of fact. That's why I wanted to go. You're going to be judged, Jake. You don't want to hear the word. It's hot as hell out here, though. It is hot, man. You don't want to hear the word. You are going to be judged. Proverbs chapter 21. Proverbs 21 and verse 16, it says, the man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. Yeah, you ain't got this wisdom. You're going to remain in the congregation of the dead if he's fucking with you, man. But he's only messing with the elect. All right. He's only messing with the elect. Revelation chapter 11 and verse 18 again, the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come in the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints. Okay, so give reward unto his servants the prophets. Okay, who are the prophets? The prophets are those men that are on these highways and hedges prophesying the downfall of Esau, the so-called white man Edom, for his wickedness that he's doing down here in the earth. Telling people lies, telling everybody he's the Most High, he's not, and causing confusion. Okay? That's what Babylon means, man. Confusion by mixture. Okay? It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 28. In verse 8, it says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old, Salakia, it's heat, man, it's hot. Jeremiah 28 and 8, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old, prophesy both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war, of evil, and of pestilence, okay? Of war. You see what's going on. We're talking about the wars, man. If I didn't mention nothing about the wars, Ukraine just did another strike. Okay? They blew down a bridge that connects Ukraine to Crimea or something like that, or Russia to Crimea, whatever. He blew that shit down, man. They're having trucks drive in and then drones pop out and he's shooting up your shit deep in Russia. So that's a war. Pete Hegseth just said war with China is imminent. Okay? Israel's still bombing those Palestinians. Just killed another like 50 people this morning. Okay? How come I always hear you killing Palestinians? I thought you had beef with Hamas. Okay? It doesn't look like you do. But all of that's coming here. Just found out there's a civil war in Sudan. That's been going on. But it's not really being talked about. And they're suffering from famine. Yemen, suffering from famine. Palestine, suffering from famine. Guess what? Two Chinese dudes got caught going to Michigan University trying to bring some fungus over here that'll fuck your crops up, man. Okay? And they called it something terrorism, something I can't even think of the word. But all of these things are happening in the world, man. All right? And the Lord said it's going to be famine. He said it's going to be pestilence. India suffered, the numbers of vid are rising in India. Okay, so the Lord's working. The Lord's doing all of these things, man. And this is what we're talking about. Of war, of evil, man. Evil, man. Bad times. There's nothing good going on. It's not getting better, man. But y'all still hearing that get better bullshit, man. No, all that shit's coming over here to Babylon, man. You ain't gonna eat. You're gonna be suffering just like those Palestinians, just like those the Yemen, just like the Sudanese, man. They having civil wars. You gonna have a civil war. They having famines. You gonna have a famine. They having pestilence. You gonna have pestilence. Okay? This is what we're talking about. Why? For the things that they did to the children of Israel, the things that he did to the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, he's going to have to pay for that, man. And if you ain't crying out, then you ain't one of the servants, the prophets. You ain't going to get the reward of a servant, the prophet. You're going to get the reward of the congregation of the dead. Okay? Well, like I said, which is 2/3 of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and you heathen. Okay? These judgments are ultimately here so to put us through this tribulation, okay? But it's also to put 2/3 of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans to death. And ultimately, it's to destroy Babylon the Great, man. And all these things are coming to pass, man. This is what the prophets are talking about. Jeremiah 28:9, the prophet which prophesied of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that the Lord have truly sent him. So, yeah, when you prophesy of peace, we'll see if peace is going to come. We're going to see if the world's going to get better. But you Christians, Catholics, and all you different denominations had a long time to push this word, and you failed at it. You only failed because you never had the spirit to begin with. You're actually working for the devil, man. This is the book of Matthew 24 and verse 14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. Yeah, and you all over the world, man. You got temples and synagogues and all this bullshit all over the world, man. That's all gonna be destroyed. All of them. Every single one of them. Because all you do is propagate wickedness. Hang up LGBTQ flags. Amalek's the biggest damn homosexual this world has ever seen, man. He gonna be taken down, man. He's gonna be taken down. Okay? The Lord said I'm going to have war with Amalek from generation to generation. This is what we're seeing. All right? That's why he's setting up these other camps to come up against GMS, man. Hey, man, you better leave those men alone. You better leave them alone, man. That's probably the closest you're going to get to the hopeful elect that this world has ever seen. Clearly, you can see, I heard Deacon going up against Apostle Tahar talking about his revelation about Vladimir Putin being an Israelite, man. Now, I don't know who's an Israelite and who's not, man. I know I'm an Israelite from the tribe of Judah, okay? And I know that through faith, all right? That's all I know, okay? And if you only gonna know, you gotta test the spirit by the spirit, man. Okay? But he was basically saying that What did he say about Tahar? He was saying how he I forgot what the fuck he was saying, man. It ain't really important, but it just slipped my mind. He was basically talking about that, but then he was saying something else. I forgot. Oh, he was saying something about the least of the flock shall draw them out, man. He was talking about how that's talking about Babylon. See, you got to have a spirit to receive these things, man. And you cutting yourself with these scriptures, man. And you know what? You got way more years than I do in this thing, man. And when you make statements like that, man, it makes me think, man. Damn. You can have millions of views, man. That's not necessarily a good thing, man. It's not necessarily a good thing, man. Okay? Pastor Hart, he don't even get that many views, man. Look how much work he's done, though. Okay? Clearly, you can see the least of the flock drawing them out. You can't see that? If you look at it contextually, yes, we understand, scholarly looking at it. Yes, I get it. You're right. You're right. But that deeper understanding is only for the elect, man. It's not for everybody to understand. Okay? It's not. It really isn't, man. Trying to get somebody to understand the least of the flock, that could drive a man crazy. Here's the book of Romans, chapter 15 and verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. Okay? Yeah, through patience and comfort of the scriptures that we might have hope. Okay? But when we read these things and having that understanding, if we didn't have the teachers, so let's say he made it up. Let's say he just made it up and it's been passed down. So it's clearly coming to pass, man. It's clearly coming to pass. So that's prophesying. You're not doing that. You're not saying anything like that. So what does that say about you? What does that say about you? You more so, and I'm not talking shit, I'm just saying. You gotta recognize it when you gotta recognize the truth when you recognize it, man. And you gotta put the scope on those who are causing division. Now, I know he might have cut you or said something to you and y'all go back and forth. I'm not saying anything about that, man. But we know it's only the elect, man. It's only the elect, brothers. It's only the elect. And you ain't gonna know until you on those chariots, man. That's it. Okay? That's what we're gonna know. That's why who's the elect, who's Israel, who's not, none of that shit matters, man. Only thing that matters is Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua when he returns. That's all that matters, man. Okay. First Corinthians. Let's jump over there. I want to go into Okola Tesla, but basically, they're trying to talk about reparations and bullshit like that. But if you don't know about Tulsa, Oklahoma, that's a good example of understanding never to trust your enemy. Never trust your enemy, man. It's the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 13, and verse 9. For we know in part and prophesy in part. Yeah, we know in part and we prophesy in part. But when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away. When I was a child, I spake as a child, I don't understand. Yeah, so pretty much we know in part and we prophesy in part, man. Okay? Because as we get closer to the end, it's starting to manifest itself more purely. It's being perfected every single day. When you watch the news, you can see how these things are coming to pass. They were talking about a famine in Palestine, but first it was in Yemen and in Sudan, but they're not saying anything about this. Probably somewhere else too. You're not hearing about these things, man. You always hear about it later. So just know it's in the world, it's happening. But a lot of people, they're more focused on what's going on here in Babylon. But it's a global economy, okay? This is about to be an embargo over here in Babylon, man. Nobody gonna want to fuck with this place. all these damn terrorists, all this bullshit. He's stirring up the pot, man. Ultimately, it's the Lord doing that, okay? Because we know, according to Proverbs 21:1, that the Lord is the one doing all these things, okay? It's the Lord that's doing all this, okay? It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will. So he's going to turn his mind just like the rivers of water, whithersoever he will. However he wants to do that, man. He's the one that's making them double down on these tariffs, man. Nah, 25%, nah, 50%. Matter of fact, I'm going to put 50% on my allies. That's the Lord doing these things. They're calling him a madman. Well, the Lord is showing us that he's working. Okay, he's the one that's in control of all these things. All right. So you gotta know these. You gotta know it. You gotta know it. You gotta know this. All right. Where I want to go? Let's go back into. I didn't even finish Revelation the 11th chapter. Salakia. Revelation 11. Let's go back over there. Revelation 11 and verse 18. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, in the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints. Who the saints? The saints are the Israelites, man. Man, look at this damn fool, man. Fucking demon. You know, there's a car driving by. Whatever, man. Can't stop a damn Dominican coming out of nowhere playing this stupid ass music. Loud as hell. Crazy. Revelation 11 and 18, and the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come in the time of the dead, that they should be judged. And that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. Going back to Musk, man. He destroying the earth, and he gonna be destroyed for destroying the earth. Okay, and that just lets you know who this is talking about. Talking about Esau, Edom, the Edomites. Okay? Who has power to go in the earth and set up these damn wicked ass polluting. Who lives over there? Jake. It's all by design, man. You still in Memphis, don't know who you are, don't know nothing that's going on. This is why we bring out these videos. Book of Job 9 and 24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, wherever who is he? Yeah, wherever who is he, man? Okay? If it's not the so-called white man, Esau, Edom. That's who it is. Okay? And that's why he has the power to do everything that he did. Okay? And y'all worship his gods, you worship him, and you're going to be destroyed with him. You're going to trust in his technology, and the Lord's allowing this to happen to bring forth his will. And we want his will to be done down here on the earth. That's wars, pestilence, the evils, everything the Lord wants, we want to happen, man, at this point. Because we're sick of this place, man. We're sick of seeing this devil prosper and using his prosperity to commit more wickedness, more just hell on earth, man. Okay? More wars. That's what he does. That's what he sees. He's a damn devil, man. Okay? As a matter of fact, let's read this. This is the book of 2 Chronicles 25 and 8. But if thou wilt go, do it, be strong for the battle. This is going back to Amaziah. All right, but actually I want to get to the point. Let me jump down. 2 Chronicles 25 and 11. And Amaziah strengthened himself and led forth his people and went to the valley of Salt and smote of the children of Seir 10,000. And other 10,000 left alive did the children of Judah carry away captive. And the children of Seir talking about you Edomites. Okay? And the other 10,000 left alive did the children of Judah carry away captive, and brought them unto the top of the rock, and cast them down from the top of the rock, that they all were broken in pieces. So that's what we should do with you Edomites, man. We should throw you off the top of mountains, man. Okay? So we won against this devil, man. He wasn't almighty and powerful, man. He was a thing to be tossed off a mountain, according to Amaziah, or put into slavery. Okay, and that's what's going to happen back to Esau, man. You going into captivity. All right? Thus saith the Lord. So look at Revelation, chapter 13, and verse 9. And if any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. Yeah, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. And who led us into captivity? The damn Edomites, man. And the rest of these nations too. But most importantly, Esau. Okay, we spent the bulk of our captivity under this devil, man. Okay? And he's the one who killeth with the sword. His sword, he was given the sword in Genesis, the 27th chapter, by Isaac, who's the Lord, by the way. He's going to come back and take it away from him. After he bathes his sword in heaven and puts it down upon Idumea, okay? Which is the Greek way of saying Edom, which is talking about your Edomites, okay? Look it up, man. Look it up. All right? That's pretty much it on that. So you're going into slavery, Esau, for the things that you've done to us. But hey, it's a just thing. It's a just thing. Just like in Judges, the 1st chapter. Let me grab that real quick. Judges chapter 1 and 1. It says, now after the death of Joshua, it came to pass that the children of Israel asked the Lord, saying, who shall go up for us against the Canaanites first to fight against them? And the Lord said, Judah shall go up. Behold, I have delivered the land into his hand. So Judah's talking about you African Americans, so-called. Okay, y'all from the tribe of Judah. Y'all are the Jews. Okay, but which is a derogatory term that represents the southern kingdom, which is talking about you so-called West Indians and Haitians and African Americans. You will all fall under the banner of Judah, which is the southern kingdom. Judges chapter 1 and 3, and Judah said unto Simeon, Simeon's talking about you Dominicans, okay, y'all from the tribe of Simeon, his brother, come up with me unto my lot, that we may fight against the Canaanites, and I likewise will go with thee into thy lot. So Simeon went with him. Who's Canaan? Canaan is the son of Ham. Okay, cursed be Canaan, the servant of servants. Okay, they occupied the land of Israel before Israel did. Okay, descendants of Ham. Judges chapter 1 and verse 4, and Judah went up, and the Lord delivered the Canaanites and the Perizzites into their hand, and they slew of them in Bezek 10,000 men. So the Lord delivered them into the hands of Judah, okay? The Lord shows you who's gonna win or not, man. The Lord determines who's gonna triumph, who's gonna win the battle. And he already prophesied that the Medes and the Persians are going to win, that Israel is going to be exalted forever. Okay? Judges 1 and 5, and they found Adoni-Bezek in Bezek, and they fought against him, and they slew the Canaanites and the Perizzites. Well, Adoni-Bezek fled, and they pursued after him, and caught him, and cut off his thumbs and his great toes. And Adoni-Bezek said, 70 kings, having their thumbs and their great toes cut off, gathered their meat under my table. As I have done, so God have requited me. And they brought him to Jerusalem, and there he died. So he understood, damn, as I have done, the Most High have requited me. So he required the same thing. So he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. You are going to be met with judgment, Esau. You've been the hammer of the whole earth, but now the Lord is going to get you. And he's setting up these different nations that will release on these weaker nations, and he's setting them up to come up against you in these last days. but ultimately you're going to be judged in the valley of Jehoshaphat, according to Joel, the 3rd chapter. All right. Joel, the 3rd chapter. Let's go there. All right. Where are you? You're going to be judged, man. 1244. Let's go there. Slocky, I'm a little slow today, man. This heat is beating, man. It's like 93 degrees in Boston, man. This ain't normal heat today, man. This is the book of Joel, chapter 3. In verse 8 and verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Yeah, let all the men in war draw near and let them come up, man. Okay? And he's preparing these men. That's why you see Hamas fighting. That's why you see these different nations fighting. Okay? Let them come up. They're being backed by bigger nations, but hey, they got the heart to fight. With less resources, they're on the front lines, ready to go. Ready to fight. So the Lord has done that. Joel chapter 3 and verse 10. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I'm strong. And that's why Iran's building this nuclear missile so they can fight. Okay? Fight who? Fight Babylon. Okay? As Ezekiel 38 tells you, Russia's gonna be a guard unto them. Isaiah chapter 8 and verse 9. Associate yourselves, O ye people, and ye shall be broken in pieces. And give ear, all ye of far countries, gird yourselves, and ye shall be broken in pieces. Gird yourselves, and ye shall be broken in pieces. Take counsel together, and it shall come to naught. Speak the word, and it shall not stand, for God is with us. For the Lord spake thus to me with a strong hand, and instructed me that I should not walk in the way of this people, saying, say ye not a confederacy to all them to whom this people shall say, a confederacy, neither fear ye their fear, nor be afraid. Exactly, man. Go to war, man. Okay? It's time for that destruction, man. Assemble yourselves. Okay? Time to come up against Babylon. Okay? Jeremiah chapter 46. In verse 3, order ye the buckler and shield, and draw near to battle. Harness the horses and get up, ye horsemen, and stand forth with your helmets. Furbish the spears and put on the brigadines, lucky. Wherefore have I seen them dismayed and turned away back, and their mighty ones are beaten down and are fled apace, and look not back, for fear was round about, saith the Lord Yahweh. Let not the swift flee away, nor the mighty man escape. They shall stumble and fall toward the north by the river Euphrates. Yeah, that's right, man. You're going to be running. You're going to be out of there, man. When the Lord put these heathens against y'all, man. And that's what y'all going to do. Y'all going over there to battle. Okay? You going over there to fight. Thus saith the Lord, Revelation chapter 11, verse 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. So it's prophesied. Woe means death, destruction, means war. Okay, so the third war is coming quickly. And this is going to be worse than every other war, man. This is going to be burning and fuel of fire, as he calls it. That's what he called it.
Stop that.
Okay. What a bad dog. He's a good doggy. How you doing, boy? He's a good boy. Let me see, I got my earbuds. Book of Isaiah, chapter 9, and verse 5. For every battle of the warriors with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. Okay, so this is going to be with burning and fuel of fire, man. Jump down. It tells you that you're going to be as the fuel of the fire. Okay, you're going to be as the fuel of the fire. It's the book of 2nd Esdras. How y'all doing today? Chapter 16 and 1. It says, woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Okay, and you go and look in that area. What's going on in that area? Okay, this is where the army of the north is gonna go, in that area, man. They're gonna fight in the Levant. Gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair, and bewail your children, and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. Yeah, your destruction is at hand, man. Okay, that's what war brings, nothing but destruction. That's what woe means. A sword is set upon you, and who may turn it back? Okay, once the missiles are launched, there's no turning them back. There's no reverse button audible that you can call on these thermonuclear missiles, man. When they go, they're going. When they get shot, when they get sent off, they're coming. Okay, and now the time that it can get here is less than 30 minutes. All right, they can get here much faster now. Second, that's why he's talking about getting a golden dome. There ain't gonna be no golden dome for these hypersonic missiles, man. You're gonna be cooked golden. You're gonna be goldly cooked. How about that? 2nd Esdras 16 and 4. A fire is set among you, and who may quench it? Yeah, who gonna quench 200 million missiles, man? Who gonna quench that? As a matter of fact, you just saw in Italy there was a volcano explosion. The ash went so high up in the air, man. If you saw, you could probably see the ash from outer space. That's how high the volcanic ash went up. Especially in Canada, there's wildfires in Canada, and some of that smoke is supposed to be, you're probably seeing some of that smoke in the air right now. That's coming from Canada. Just like Lynn, Massachusetts, they were having bushfires not too long ago. Well, you got some smoke coming from Canada coming this way. So there's gonna be some respiratory issues for a lot of y'all, so you gotta be careful, okay? So who's gonna quench it, the Lord's asking. 2nd Esdras 16 and 5. Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? Yeah, who's gonna drive these plagues away that the Lord's sending? Who's gonna stop it? Are these jab shots gonna stop those Elamites in East India from getting the vid right now, the MB 1.8.1? Is that gonna stop them? Who's gonna stop that? If the Lord's sending the plagues, nobody's gonna stop it. 2nd Esdras 16 and 6. May any man drive away a hungry lion in the wood? Yeah, go stop a hungry lion in the wood. See if it'll stop when you say stop. Like it's a dog or something. See if it's gonna stop from eating your ass, man. Or may anyone quench the fire and stubble when it have begun to burn? Yeah, you gonna quench the fire and the stubble when it has begun to burn? No. Not even one missile can you. They can't even put out a smaller fire. They couldn't even put out the bushfires here in Lynn. They couldn't even put that fire out. How much more these thermonuclear missiles, man? It's not gonna happen. 2nd Esdras chapter 16 and 7. May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer? Yeah, can you turn away the arrow that's shot of a strong archer? It's ultimately talking about those thermonuclear missiles, man. They're coming out of a silo. A missile gets shot out. Those are the strong archers. Who's gonna stop that archer from shooting the arrow? Who's gonna stop the arrow from coming over here? Nobody. 2nd Esdras 16 and 7. In verse 8, the mighty Lord sendeth the plagues. And who is he that can drive them away? Yeah, who are you? Can you drive them away? Can you stop them from coming? Can you stop it from happening? No, you can't. 2nd Esdras 16 and 9. A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? Yeah, who gonna quench it? Who gonna put it out? Like I said, you can't even put out a small little bushfire in your locally. And you live next to an ocean. How much more when these missiles start coming over here, man? Ain't nothing gonna put them out. They're gonna keep burning. 2nd Esdras chapter 16 In verse 10, he shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear, he shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid. Yeah, he gonna send thunder and lightning. Okay, and that lightning is talking about those laser beams that's coming for the chariots. You can't forget about the Lord. Okay, you can't forget about the Lord. Second Esdras, chapter 16 and 11. The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence. Yeah, who's going to be utterly beaten to powder at his presence, man? Them laser beams, you watch War of Worlds, they were being beaten to powder, man. So you're going to be beaten to powder at his presence too if he ain't messing with you. Okay? Laser beam from Yahweh Shai. Second Esdras 16 and 12. The earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof. The sea ariseth up with the waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also, before the Lord and before the glory of his power. Yeah, the waves, man. The waves. Okay, it tells you in Isaiah the 24th chapter that this place is gonna rock to and fro like a drunkard. What do you think that's gonna do to the ocean, to the waves that he's talking about, man? Isaiah 24 and 20. The earth shall rail to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. Yeah, it's gonna fall, man. Babylon's gonna fall, and it's not gonna rise again. Okay. It's not gonna rise again. Isaiah 19. Actually, no, yeah. I'll get it in there. Isaiah 19 and 14. The Lord hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. Okay? But yeah, man, it is causing this place, because everything that the Lord's doing is to bring about this indignation, man. He's causing everyone to err in a way that's, that's gonna fulfill all these prophecies. Okay. Second Esdras. As a matter of fact, I got another precept. Revelation 11, verse 13. In the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell, and in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, and the remnant were affrighted, and gave glory to the God of heaven. Yeah, they're going to give glory to the God of heaven when they see the destruction, and they're still alive, man. It's time to give glory to the Lord, man. All right? It's time to give glory to the Lord. The remnant, the elect. So there's some men that are going to see this. Scriptures tell you some men ain't even going to see death. This is the book of Mark, chapter 9 and verse 1. It says, and he said unto them, verily I say unto you, that there be some of them that stand here, which shall not taste of death, till they have seen the kingdom of God come with power. Yeah, some of y'all ain't gonna taste of death till they see the kingdom of God coming with power, man. Some of y'all gonna witness this, man. Some of y'all get to see this great day. The great day of destruction. Second Esdras 16 and verse 13. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth the shot, and shall not miss. When they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. Yeah, when they begin to get shot into the ends of the world, talk about begin to get shot over here in Babylon, America. Okay? And they shall not miss. Going into Joel again. Telling you what? Telling you that it shall fall on the sword and shall not be wounded. Okay? Second Esdras chapter 16 in verse 14, behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled and should not be put out till it consume the foundations of the earth. That's right. Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again. Exactly, man. A mighty archer, man. Talking about these thermonuclear missiles. They coming here to Babylon, but I'm going to end it right there. Lord's will, that was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rechach Wadash. Shalom, Abba, Babal, Kwam Yasharala.